What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Impulse Control. I'm Justin.
I'm Jasmine.
And did you know that Buzz Lightyear's original name was supposed to be Lunar Larry?
I kind of wish it was Lunar Larry now. I love that.
I
I
always
feel
feel
like
weird trying to come up with something for right after we
Mhm.
introduce ourselves because I'm like, I don't want to just jump right into what we talk about because,
I
like,
think we should sometimes.
but like at the same time,
We always have
it's
to
just
take a break
weird.
because we talk about the weirdest stuff before we start recording. And then
Hmm.
Justin goes, "You ready?" and hits the ready button, and we have
Oh
to
no,
like
no,
switch gears.
no. I say you ready, and then Jasmine goes, "Well, hang on, I have this thing, and it'll be quick," and then drops a
That was
bomb on
so
me.
fast. No, that wasn't a
And then
bomb. I
drops a
feel like
bomb on me,
that wasn't a
and then it's
bomb.
like, "Oh, okay, we're ready now."
All right, so I got some questions for you today. First
Oh
one is,
dear.
how are you?
Well, I was okay. I am here. I am Justin. I am.
No, but how are you?
I am. I am. You know.
Yes,
Yeah.
sort of.
I am okay. I am
Okay.
tired. That is a good adjective for how I feel. And I am very, very tired of. Well, I'm physically tired, but I'm also very tired of. If you don't like to hear cussing, close your ears for a
Is
second.
Justin about to cuss before I
I'm
do?
just no, I'm not actually, because now you
Oh.
said something. I'm very
No,
tired of people's
wait.
crap. Is what I was gonna
No,
say.
say the
That
word.
nope, I said what I said, and it's your fault. But I am kind of tired of things right now, so
It's
I
me,
wouldn't be
guys.
surprised if a personal day is coming soon. Um,
Hey,
I
how many
say
of your
this.
coworkers watch this?
mm, I'll tell it to their face too if they need to. Like, I ain't scared to say stuff. I'll say
Yeah.
it professionally, but like, I ain't scared to say stuff.
I will be out of office today because of C podcast episode here.
Leave a
Because
link. Make sure you subscribe.
subscribe to get the reason why I'm out.
But yeah, I
Members
think I'm
only episode.
okay. I
All right.
am. I definitely could use February break to come sooner
Right?
because that's where I'm at.
Well, I'm going to be in San Diego for February break. I'm very excited.
Okay, I'll just go cry myself to sleep. Thank you.
Why?
Because it feels like the SpongeBob Patrick episode when Patrick.
Well, what do you do while I'm gone?
I wait for you to get home.
Oh, man. The roles are really reversed here tonight.
Sometimes. How are you?
Also tired of people's shit. I'll say it. I'm not afraid.
I'm not
No,
afraid to say it. I just
I'm
want to make
okay.
a point because you're pushing.
My ear hurts. My whole lymphatic system is draining into itself, and I'm pretty sure I busted a rib sleeping on the couch somehow. My
You know
couch
what
is
else?
not comfortable to sleep on. Well, that's fine. It's your turn.
My turn. You know what else? It's really upsetting that, and it's our fault. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It is our fault. We chose a career where we literally work in petri dishes. Like, it's so
It's
upsetting that every week is a new disease. Like,
listen. The amount of
last
kids.
week was the flu. This week's walking pneumonia. The next week's
Oh, you
gonna be
guys got
COVID.
walking pneumonia?
Oh yeah, we had walking pneumonia
Oh,
for a while.
we got some neuroviruses going around. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want that. I really
No,
don't.
no.
One
I'm
of my
good.
coworkers has COVID. At the
Mhm.
time of recording, it's a couple weeks because we're actually on our shit this week,
We are doing it.
and we're
That means
actually
people subscribe.
and anyway, as of recording, she has COVID. My other coworker has the cold. The cold has the flu. We had a kid that was out for like norovirus. Also, if your kid has a fever on the day that you call them out sick, they have to be out the next day. 24 hours means 24 hours without medication from
Also,
when
if your
you
kid
take
pukes.
If your kid pukes, keep that motherfucker home. I don't handle vomit well, one. And two, I don't want it.
Facts.
The amount of kids that have come up to me, and I love my kids, right? But they'll come up like this close to my face and they'll go, "Good morning, Miss Corkins." And I'm like, "Good morning." And they give me a hug. And then as soon as they move past, they cough in my open mouth. I'd look at me, cough in my open mouth, and say, "By the way, my mom took me to the doctor. I have the croup."
Go home.
Why do I now have to have it? What did I do?
I like to do the whole like I'm not. I want to rephrase this.
If you're this kid, by the way, with the croup, I hope you feel better. Truly, thank you for coughing directly in my face, though.
Don't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I am the type of person who's not gonna because it's probably not good, but I do have like the mindset of like you're in high school now, take some responsibility for
Yeah,
who you are.
you have older kids. I have 10-year-olds.
Yeah, so like when I have a kid who walks in and they're like, "I am sick," and I'm like, "Oh, do you want to go home?" Like I try to offer that as like an option for them because sometimes I don't think that they realize that if they are sick, they can stay home because sometimes parents are very aggressive when they say, "No, you can't stay home," and that whole thing. And I want this to be very clear. I understand there are circumstances where you don't have a babysitter, blah 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 blah. I get that, but I am not your built-in babysitter who's deserving of getting sick. Like.
But also, and I understand, like, there are situations, but it is also your responsibility as a parent to take care of your kids when they're sick.
Amen,
and
sister.
it's that was weird. It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
You have this child. It's your responsibility to then take care of them.
Facts.
Like, I just that frustrates me more than anything. Where they're like, "Well, I don't have childcare." That is not my problem.
Take a day off.
I feel bad for it because it is horrible, and I had the mom
my
who worked
favorite
a lot,
response
but, like,
I do.
Oh my god!
My favorite response that I do, and it's
What?
super petty, but I literally they'll tell me what their issue is, and usually I don't use it if it's like a real issue, but if they have like I don't want to do homework today,
these guys?
I do, but in my generation,
You should womp them. Oh.
I mean, I kind of do. Like, they'll be like, oh, I have this and this and this for homework, and I haven't done my homework from last week, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, well, why haven't you done your homework? Because that's the stereotypical teacher response. And they're like, well, because I had sports, or I was sick, or I was tired, or blah, blah. Like, they'll give me a crappy response, and I'll be like, aw, bummer, dude. And then I'll leave the conversation.
Cow a bummer.
I just, bummer, dude. And I, like, as monotone as I can, no emotions, and I'll walk away from the conversation. Like, I'm leaving them like, what do I do? Like,
take accountability. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, and there's so much, so my social worker at the school and I have talked about this a couple times of, like, guilt versus shame. Like, I don't want to shame a kid, but sometimes guilt is good to be like, I expected this of you, and you chose
morals.
not to do it.
Yeah.
And
or
especially, like,
anything.
Accountability, responsibility, all that good stuff. But, like, I know, ow, I just whacked myself in the glasses with my pen. I know, like,
bummer, dude.
Cow bummer. Have you seen that sound on TikTok?
No, I haven't, and I think it's weird every time you say it. So
no, so I'm gonna find it when you're spieling a little bit later. But I found a video, and it was like, it was a election video, but it was like, I didn't know this was gonna happen, blah blah blah. And she goes, "Cow bummer, dude," because it's to someone who voted and is getting all the things that they voted for, all that. So anyway, but no, with the kids, we've talked about, like, at this age, at my age, we're teaching them the responsibility and whatever. So, like, I asked you to do this. This is your assignment. You chose to play. Unfortunately, you used your break time during my time. So now you owe me half of your break to make up the work you didn't do. Now, goodbye. Now, if they didn't do it because hey, I need a 5, or they were in the bathroom or whatever, like, they weren't flat out refusing, sure. But if you're flat out refusing and you're fighting with me for 40 minutes, yeah, you're going to owe me some break. But then when we send them out to middle school, they teach them the next step of, like, now you got to do that independently. Then when they get to you, they're supposed to have been taught all of these things. And unfortunately, we have a lot of kids who went through the pandemic. We spieled on this last year, and I'm still on this high horse, and I will never get down. No. But we had a lot of kids in the pandemic who were just like, oh, but I
don't want to.
But I had no internet. You played Fortnite for 20 hours?
Yeah.
Your Snap location said that you were actually active and moving. So you did have internet, or at least data. You couldn't have read for 20 minutes in a book. You don't need Wi-Fi for that. And it's just like a lot of this, and so many times of, I remember this like when I was teaching in public school, and so you would know you're teaching in a public school, of telling parents like, so this is the expectation, they made this choice, that's why this consequence. Well, how was she supposed to know?
Because I
So we
shared the
don't hit
consequence
people.
of the action.
Yeah, so
Like,
we don't hit people, or like we don't cheat on
yeah,
tests.
yeah.
That's a pretty basic guideline. And I was get like, I got yelled at by parents because they were like, "Well, my Susie would never," but your Susie did.
And here's the evidence.
Here's the
Boom, right
evidence.
there.
Yeah, I know this
You know what
spiraled away
I?
from things, but
That's fine. You know what I
this is
do?
a high horse episode, guys.
I'm a super petty. Like, I'm a petty teacher. I'm a petty person. I'm a petty
I was gonna
teacher.
say,
Though.
petty
My
teacher.
students know that. I'm flat out with them. Day one, I'm like, you know what? You don't want to test me
You
because
are
I
the
will be so
pettiest
petty.
person I've ever met.
I've had kids. They will leave. I have them every other day. I want that to be very clear because I have like a Gray and Garnet schedule. So I have them like every other day essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had kids who have tried to sneak out 3 minutes, 2 minutes, a minute early. I've even had a 30-second one. And every time that I do, I mentally take that note, which is a lot for me because I struggle with remembering. Everybody remember that. But when I don't, or when I do remember...
Oh, so now we all have to remember your bad memory.
Correct. Yeah, get it. Come on. But but when I do
Get it,
remember,
come on.
I go, hey, kid, you owe me 3 minutes of your time. You wasted my time. You left. You took your time away.
Yep.
So now it's my time after class. So like I had a kid 3 minutes. I said he left early, and I said the next day when I saw him, I was like, you owe me 3 minutes, and you better remember that. And he came into the class and he's like, what are you going to do? How am I supposed to pay you 3 minutes? And I was like, you better hope you're not first load because you're going to miss the bus if you are.
God damn!
And he goes, you can't do that to me. I was like, oh, you want to bet? Like,
yes, I can.
Yeah, I am a petty teacher, but I don't cross the line. And I want that to be very clear that any like parents or teachers, or anybody watching, whatever, I don't cross the line. I tap that line and I'm like, here's the line. I'm just going to put my little toesies here and I'm going to dance a little. I wouldn't put my toes on the line. That'd be weird. But like, I'm going to dance on the line a little. And I made that kid sit for 3 minutes after the bell had rang. His classmates all left. I said, give me your phone. And I took his phone for 3 minutes. And he sat there.
We have a thing right now that if kids refuse to do work during an academic, they have to make it up during break. So like after reading, we have a first break, and it's only like, I don't know, 20 minutes because it's just like a break during the day.
Yeah.
And they owe me the first 10 minutes. Regardless of how much they refuse, they owe me that first, half of break. And actually, it's not regardless, but yeah, they owe me the first half of break. And it's the work that we worked on. So if I did a read aloud and they missed the read aloud, I give them the book and I say, I read from here to here. You can go ahead and read it because all my kids can read it. And if they can't, then the teacher can read it to them, but they missed that part of break. And then they can go do their break time activities. Same thing applies if they're out of program, because out of program kiddos still. So we have our program. If kids need extra support, they go to. It's a whole thing. But anyway, if they go out of program, they still owe me 10 minutes of break, even though they're out of program. But they do break at the cubby. It just means they owe me 10 minutes, and I enforce that with my guys, and they really don't like it.
No.
But you know what I've noticed? Almost a 100% turn-in rate.
You know what's crazy? You know what's absolutely insane? This is like, I'm about to blow your freaking mind. Okay?
Hey,
and anybody listening, I'm about to blow your mind too. If you work with children or even adults. Yeah, that was kind of, I didn't even realize that you got up, but if you work with children. He's in his own space.
He actually doesn't care about me at all.
Or even adults for that matter. If you hold them accountable, they will rise up to the situation. They will do what you are asking.
Yes,
and
constantly changing the expectation is confusing for children.
Yeah.
And adults.
So in my eyes, anyways, I make sure my kids know the repercussions. You do this thing, this is what's going to happen. Today, prime example. Perfect. Like, this could not be any better.
I wouldn't know.
We're watching a video. We're watching a movie. We're watching a documentary in class. Not a great documentary. I'll be 100% honest, but I don't have an updated version. It's Fed Up. I don't mind
Oh,
it, but like it's not the best. It's just kind of,
at least you're not watching the size one, the
Oh
McDonald's
yeah, super
size
size
me or
me,
super size.
super size me.
That one made me vomit in high school health class.
Yeah,
I
I
hated that
won't
one.
ever show that one. That one's bad. But
Thank you.
Fed Up is good
Better.
information and
Hmm.
gets the point of what I'm trying to teach them across.
Hmm.
Still, it's a little outdated because it's more like geared to our when we were in school. But
Hmm.
anyways, I show them this video, and then I have this handout that lines up perfectly with the
Hmm.
movie. And I'm like, I'm a nice teacher. I will make this optional. You have the choice. You can do the assignment, but if you don't, it's not going to cost you anything. Your grade won't go down. It's just an optional assignment that can help boost your grade up. And if
Hmm.
you're already at fours, this will be something that you could hold and say, I want to use it here instead of,
Oh, I
it's
love
like a,
that
yeah, you're doing the work.
honor system.
Yeah. I mean, I still go through and I grade it, but like, it is what it is.
Yeah, if they totally just write like BS answers, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah, but yeah, I
Right.
get you.
But I say it's optional. But then I say, but if this day one, because most movies for me take both classes, two
Hmm.
classes, I say if this day one turns out to be a bad situation where you are
Hmm.
disrespectful, you're not paying attention, you're, on your phones the whole time, blah, 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 then that optional goes away. And it becomes an assignment that is required to be done the day we finish. Like
Hmm.
that is the repercussion for your misbehaving.
Hmm. I am giving this to you with the honor system of you will do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you break my trust, I'm taking it away.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my high horse. I think that if you hold kids accountable, it actually works,
So,
and you would think that other professionals in a
well,
situation like mine would do that too. But
so I can actually speak to the other professionals because I was the professional that when I started teaching, and I feel like a lot of us first time teachers make this mistake
mm-hmm.
because we want the kids to like us.
Yeah, yeah,
And I know for me, like I had a really hard time setting boundaries my first year teaching. So kids would often act out in the
mm-hmm.
classes that, so I'm a special ed teacher, right? And so the school that I was at, I was a pull-out resource room teacher. So kids would act out and they would like, mouth off in class, they'd refuse assignments, whatever, in the hopes that they could come to me because I had games, I had a cool down corner. I tried to make I'm like dying over here. I tried to make my classroom as like calming and like, all the
It was
Gen
where
Z,
they
like,
wanted to
you're a
be.
first time teacher. Right. They wanted to be with me. Not because I was a safe teacher, which I was, but
Mm-hmm.
not that wasn't the reason. Not because I held them to an expectation that they knew about when they came to me. Not because I talked to them in a way that was particularly whatever. They could just screw around in my classroom because I
Yeah,
wanted to be their friend.
yeah,
Second year teaching, I'm now at my new school and I started having that again. And I got talked to a few times of like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to hold them. This year, this is my fourth year teaching, which by the way, wild.
mm-hmm.
But this is my fourth year teaching, third year at this school, and I'm now finally getting into a routine of sometimes my kids ask for things and I want to just so bad because I don't want that smoke to be like, yeah, you know what? Yes, that's fine. But then tomorrow when I'm in, a normalized mood and I'm not stressed out and I go, nope, you can't do that, then that's confusing. That
Yep,
expectation is whatever.
yep.
And it took me a very long time to learn that. So as a professional who whatever, but that's something like I have a couple of friends who just graduated as teachers and they've asked, like, what do I need to know about being a first year teacher? I'm in special ed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold your boundaries, hold your expectations, set clear
Lock in
guidelines,
that guideline,
lock in.
as
But
the
like,
kids say. I'm gonna lock in. And they never do.
they
They
never
never
do.
do. They think locking in is actually leaving. And it ain't.
I'm going to lock in on my next object. So,
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
right.
lock in on trying to get somewhere where I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah. So,
Anyways, high horse, stepping down.
no, I'm staying on my
Oh,
high horse, but I brought the game up to the high
giddy
horse.
up, mother trucker.
He was so close, guys. He was so close. All right. 1, 2, or 3, Justin.
2.
Okay. We have some questions from Brain
Hey,
Quest.
question.
Well, I'll just go fuck myself then. What?
When you see the number, like when you see 1, 2, and 3, what are the colors that you're seeing with them?
1 is red for me.
Okay.
2 is blue. 3 is green.
Interesting.
What do you see? You've asked me this before.
I see brown, 1. And so it's different in my brain
Wild.
when I talk about this because it's like 1, 2, 3. That's in 1. But if I were to see the number 1,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
its
yeah.
own
I got
color.
you. Yeah.
So
I
1,
see
2,
it in like
3.
the
I see
primary
3 different.
colors. Yeah.
That's fair. I see
Or
3 different
what's the secondary color? But yeah.
sections,
Yep,
and
I get you.
1 is brown, 2 is like a blue, and then 3 is
Ooh,
like
okay.
black.
Okay.
So
Weird, but
blue, like
okay.
that color, is like
2
the
blue.
only popping one. So
Yeah.
2 is almost always my answer.
Hmm.
Anyways, that is the brain of an ADHD person. One of an
Pick a
ADHD person.
number.
7.
You don't even know how many there
12.
are. Calm down. 1 through 30.
73!
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Oh, well, this is confusing.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Oh, 1 through 74.
Dang it. 12.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Brain Quest. Atoms are particles of matter. Are they very large or very small?
Small.
Correct. Out of 20 games, our team won 10 and lost 4. How many games ended in a tie?
Won 10 and lost 4
Yes.
out of 20.
Yes.
6.
That's insane. I would have taken me years to figure that out.
Hang on, pause.
Yeah.
You know what I did today?
I'll just put my game away, Justin.
Sorry.
What do you want?
I went to and proctored, big word, proctored.
Oh, yeah, your math meet. How was that?
That was an experience. I just punched everything on my desk. How did that fall on your head?
How was your math meet, Justin?
Oh man, it was very interesting. This was the first ever math meet held at my school.
That's adorable.
In history.
I love that.
And the teacher that runs the math team never asks for anything. So I was like, I'm going to definitely help out. Like, I like the teacher. No. It's Dr. Gray.
I don't know who that is.
Science teacher in the high school wing. But she never asked for anything. She's a good worker. She's been there. I think she's got seniority over everybody now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to help out. And I was placed in my room, which, thank goodness. Because every team had their own room to go to.
That's weird.
Yep. And we did everything over the intercom, which I'm wondering if that was like a COVID thing where they took everybody from the gym, started placing them into the classrooms.
Maybe.
I don't know. Darcy was explaining her one experience, and it was very different than what I was experiencing. But anyways, so I had a team.
Mine was very different than what you're experiencing.
Yeah. So I had a team.
I did math team all 4 years.
I had a team from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the country, the actual town. If you're not from Maine, just know we have.
Get out of here.
Towns. Well, no, you stay. Come, sit down. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, and he's not going to let me tell any.
Nope, it's my turn. But but I had a team from Poland. We had 6 kids in there, and I was like, wow, this is weird. And it was like 12-minute. Sessions of math questions. It was like 3 questions, but I had to literally give them paper, wait the 12 minutes, take the paper back, and that was my job. And then I'd give them a new one. I've never been to a math meet. I first thing I told them was this is my first ever math meet. Straight up, not even as a child, didn't go to a math meet, so I am learning what I'm doing.
All those kids were like, oh my lord.
Or they were like, we can cheat, and they couldn't because I was watching them.
Math meets, like the mathletes, I'll be very honest with you, cheating, not what they want to do. No. Because the ego boost that you get from getting a question right is just, it's beautiful.
But yeah, I watched that happen a couple times.
Yeah, I did math team for 4 years.
Yeah,
that's where I fell in love with Connor, actually, was on math team.
That's disgusting and cute. But anyways, I was sitting in my chair at my desk, sitting there, not doing anything because
you're not allowed to. Yeah,
not allowed to really. I was sitting on my phone basically, but I was like phone up, phone up, phone up, and so I'm watching these guys, and it was easy. It was not hard by any means, but it was just It was
I thought you
weird.
meant the questions, and I was like, Justin,
No,
let's be
no.
honest with us
I
here.
looked at those questions and was like, did I
So
even graduate high school? Because
yeah,
these guys were
so
like, oh, it's this with PB and W and like, I'm like,
that's just algebra,
I
but
could do
yeah.
two. I could get 1, 2. I
Yeah,
got
one and
it.
two. That's where they always put me. So I when we would go to the big like statewide, so you do the math teams where you go to each of the schools and yada yada, and you do it
Yeah.
whatever. But I like we went to states every year, and one time we made it to the New England meet where we had to go to Boston, and we
Mm.
did like all of New England. We didn't do as well, but it was a fun trip. It was a weekend trip with this anyway.
Yeah.
And we would go to these state meets, and it would always be you sit in order of questions. So it'd be like algebra, geometry, word problem, blah 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 blah. And I
Mm.
always sat first chair. My happy ass sat in that first chair because that's the easiest question, and I suck at math. I only joined because I had a crush on Connor. That's it. That's why I joined math team. And for 4 years, you waited.
But
We're not
also,
married, so there's that. But
yeah, well, but also it was like 3 questions per paper, but you had that 12 minutes and you couldn't talk.
mhm,
Like they couldn't
correct.
speak.
Yes.
So they had to answer all 3 questions,
Yes.
which was super weird to me. Again, I am an athlete in terms of like I compete team
Athletics.
sports.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't even hear you guys, let alone hear the other teams.
Yes.
I need to hear the other teams. Like that's like in my brain,
Mhm.
I'm like, this isn't right. They're not competing. They're at
Mhm.
practice. And I was wrong, obviously. But yeah, so it was a weird experience.
I
And
want to see.
I feel bad for those kids who had to sit in my room because like they had to sit in my room and they were like,
Mhm.
this is weird. But at the same time, I feel like I made it a homey vibe. So
I'm going to show you something from 2015. You ready?
uh
There I am.
oh,
That's
nerd.
my math team. This is what we won a trophy in 2015.
That's actually
Yeah.
really cool. Why does
This
the
was
girl next to you not look happy?
Angel. She never smiled in any pictures.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
then you got Connor.
That's my husband. He doesn't look like that now, but that was 2015 us. And then there's more because
I'm gonna say
I'm
Mr. B. If he's watching, you got a shout out there too.
Mr. B. Don't know that he wants to be shouted out on this, but that's okay. And then there's this one with my sister in it.
Oh, your sister did it too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can imagine how that one went.
I'm sure it was totally fine. Nothing went wrong.
This was my senior year, I think. What year was this? This was 2016. So this is my junior year. So Connor and I had now. This is Connor's jacket that I'm now wearing. We had now been dating for a year, a little under a year actually. No, like 6 months we'd been dating. But yeah, that's Gabe.
Look how happy like Rosemary is in that picture.
Yeah, she doesn't look like that anymore, folks. She's depressed working for the state government. So that's me
up.
and my sister. Huh?
Scroll up a little. A little more.
Oh yeah, we went to MDI for that one.
Went to MDI, okay.
I can't read it. The font is the worst.
MDI, like you were.
Yeah, the WA math team went to March 9th for the final regional math meet of the season. Our team placed second out of 8 schools. Several students were recognized for outstanding achievement. Third place was Eddie Xiao. Second place, Will. Second place, freshman, his brother. Coach's honor award was Eddie, so none of the rest of us won anything. It was fine. But we convinced Gabe to join and Steven to join. So it was fun. If you search up my name on like Google, you will find a lot of pictures of me from high school.
It feels dangerous.
Pictures of me in high school?
Well, you just said if you search my name on Google, you'll find a lot of pictures of me in high school.
I'm on public, but that's me singing a solo. That's me singing. It's not a solo; it's a quartet. But that was me singing at a pops night. This bald man is Mr. Cox. It's a bad choice, by the way, to be named Mr. Cox and have a bald head. I'm just putting that out there.
That's an
unfortunate
situation.
His name was Ben Cox.
Oh, I forgot that you were 17. Like that to me is wild. Like I also think that like Darcy graduating in 15 was crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
But like 17 is wild. Because I didn't look back. I left Washburn and I was pieced out.
You were done? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I haven't been
Mm.
back to my high school. I think I
That's
went back
that's
like
wild.
a month after I graduated to like pick up
Mm-hmm.
my sister or something like that because
Mm-hmm.
snow days. But like I haven't been
Sorry.
back to my school in my high school in like years. I mean, I'm working on 10 years now.
Okay, I have one
Like
more to
this is
share
my
with
10
you.
year. I want that to be very clear. I'm upset about that.
That's me
Mhm. Mhm.
in the
Mhm.
off the shoulder. This is 2014, folks. Just to keep
So
that in
your
mind. I'm
freshman
wearing.
year.
Oh my god.
No, your
Yeah, I'm
sophomore
wearing.
year.
Nope, my freshman year. This was 2014. Was spring of 2014. It was in April.
Oh.
So I hadn't. Yeah. So that's me in the middle. There with the off the shoulder. This is the Washington County Music Festival. I did. I was a singer. I'm wearing black leather, or not leather jeans, but I'm wearing black jeans with high top boots
Mhm.
and an
Mhm.
off the shoulder shirt. So that was a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Wild.
mean, I can't say much. My style was not good in high school. I've learned to not
Mm-hmm.
try for style and just wear black.
Mm-hmm.
So, um
Yeah.
yeah. So
Anyway.
anyways, that's little history of Jasmine.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be
But
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. My math meet though, that was quite the experience.
Yeah.
Not sure that in my life I'll do another one, but it was fun. And the math questions, I looked at the first paper, I flipped it over and looked at them,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, not a chance that I would even try these questions.
There's a few of them that I would just sort of not just not try at all because I was like, you know what? It ain't worth it. I refuse to embarrass myself.
But yeah. So, anyways, back to the questions.
Yeah, I'm changing it up now because I just truly want to.
Okay.
Um, one, two, or three?
Let's go with 3.
No. What does it take for you to trust someone?
Uh,
Sorry, these are let's get deep questions. I apologize. I just sort of jumped
just
in.
like drop this like
There's
massive like.
there's 3 piles. There's um well hold on now. There's icebreaker, which are like very it's questions for couples, but Connor's not here and refuses to do them with me. So I ask the not coupley ones Justin all the time. You know, but it makes our friendship bond. There's deep and then there's deeper. That's what she said. And the deeper questions are weird. I wanted to showcase. So
It's a
what?
goodbye. I would say for me, it's to trust someone. It takes time for me to trust someone, but also
Mm-hmm,
like you have to prove to me that you are trustworthy.
mm-hmm,
So like if I ask you to do something and you do it, well, you've earned some of that trust. If I have the same beliefs as you, um,
mm-hmm,
I mean, I can get along with people who I don't agree with their beliefs, but like I don't always trust that they'll do things.
mm-hmm,
Loyalty is a pretty big thing for me. So like I am very loyal to the people that I believe I need to be loyal to.
mm-hmm,
Um, but it takes it. It. I mean, realistically, because I don't like to wait, things don't take as long as they probably should. So I can trust somebody a lot quicker. The better question I think would have probably been for me, anyways, would have probably been what does it take for somebody to earn trust back? Because that takes a lot longer. Because once
mm-hmm.
I've trusted you and you broke my trust, I won't say you're dead to me, but like you're you've
Wow.
got some work to do if you want to be my friend.
All right. I need to feel safe.
Fair.
If I feel like I'm going to be constantly in danger or that I'm not going to get treated with respect, I have a very hard time trusting. I'm a very trustworthy, or not trustworthy. I'm a very trusting person.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't take time for me. Generally, like I knew I was going to be friends with Justin pretty early on. I trusted him almost within that first meeting, and then we went to the Red Sox game
Which was funny
because
because our first meeting was playing Sorry, and we were literally fighting about like
we
who
were
was gonna
fighting.
win.
But you know what? I don't think I've ever told you this. I called my mom after leaving because Amber had to go do something, and I called and I was like, "Mom, I made a friend." Mom, guess what I did? And she was like, what? And I was like, I made a
You're
friend.
18 years old, Jasmine. You should be able to make friends.
Listen. But I was really excited because I make friends very easily, but I was like, and we did this and this, and my mom was like, that's amazing. What's your friend's name? And I went, ah.
You know what's really funny?
Hmm?
I couldn't remember your name either.
I don't think we talked about our names.
I remembered Amber, but I didn't remember your name.
Everyone always remembers it, right? Probably because I was yelling at you and she wasn't.
That was
Um,
probably it. Yeah.
you guys also had a class together. So I remember her talking about that.
Did
Because
we?
I was a very creepy friend, folks. I don't know if you remember me posting about me stalking
Creepy
Justin.
is like a
You
lower
shut your
level
mouth.
of-
We're best friends now. We're gonna have a tunnel to each other's houses. You shut your whore mouth. No, you and Amber had a class or at least something where she saw you frequently, and I would
I think
ask
she
about
would go
you.
to the gym, or she worked at the gym. I think it was something to do with the gym. I don't
She
think we
didn't
had
work
a
at the.
class.
I was at the gym a lot.
Yeah.
Were you working there my freshman year already?
Yeah. Your freshman year was my first year there.
Yeah, were you
Because I
working there
transferred. Yeah.
in the spring?
Yeah. I got a job right off. Like I applied for a job in the summer and had a interview before.
So you were
school.
there, probably not the day, but you were working there when I had my multiple FRC staff had to come get me off the floor because I overdid myself.
Yeah, probably. More
Yeah.
than likely, actually.
I don't think you were one of the people because
No,
I
I
would have
wasn't.
recognized my victim of stalking.
You hear it here. This is.
You
I'm
hear
not
here.
Safe. I'm not safe.
You're safe. You're fine. I'm in a different house for all you know.
What she wants you to think is that we're not in the same house, but really, I'm locked in her basement. She made this look like my own.
I live above a Subway, folks. I don't have a basement. Subway does,
Subway.
but I. Do you know what I found out recently? Domino's has a basement.
See, that's creepy because Domino's itself is creepy.
The Domino's down below my house is really creepy.
Yep.
Also, loud. It's so loud.
I was literally about to say that. When I stay over,
oh my
it
God.
always wakes me up at 3:00 in the morning.
They're so loud. And you know what's weird? Is there's never any cars out back.
Mm-mm.
I don't
It's
know.
because someone's locked in their basement.
It's not you. You stay upstairs, Justin.
Don't yell too loud. There might be an echo, Jasmine.
There usually is. Oh. Anyway, I like to feel safe, and I felt safe with you because you were able to joke around with me, and then you didn't get. Maybe you did get weirded out by my constant Snapchatting. You probably did. I recognize
The
that was
first
weird.
couple times I did, and then I was like, I know that she's like trying to build a friendship, and this is not a mean thing. I want this to be very clear.
You love when people preface that it's usually a mean thing.
But like, for the first couple times, I didn't want to respond, and then when I
That's
did
super
actually
valid. You know what?
respond, I did it out of pity because I was
No.
like, oh, she must really not have friends.
No, you're so right. I had actually like 15 friends.
Yeah,
For the record, I had a big friend group. But all of my friends that I had ever met were like through school, so I saw them every day. I had never made friends that were like in the world, you know?
Right.
And it was strange
I think
to me.
I was kind of in the same shoes because I had like, I don't even think Darcy and I were dating when we first like
Not when we
became
met.
friends.
No.
And so like it was still I was still learning how to build a friendship that wasn't, you know, my dorm
and you had
mates
transferred
or-
schools too.
Yeah. And I literally one of my friends, Caroline, we had like we walked until like midnight just walking around Farmington, like one of the first weekends I was there. And she was like, I'm pretty sure she was my first friend. Caroline was. And like we talked about, we talked about each other. We talked about like, how I felt and how she felt. And like she had been there for a year. So she had like experience, which is why I met Darcy, because through her was a fire. Anyways. But like one of the big things that I brought up was I was like, I don't know how to make friends. Like I've never had to make friends outside of
being in
outside
close
of school.
proximity.
Right.
Forced proximity with friends, yeah.
And so she was like, well, I mean, you made a friend with me. Like, there's that like built of trust and all that. And I was like, yeah, I did. But like, we also work together. Like,
right.
Because we both worked at the FRC.
Well,
So
that was
very
the other
weird.
thing is I had friends that were at school with me, but I had friends at other schools because I had worked with them in high school.
Right.
So when I got to college, like the first few times I Snapchatted, it was not to say it was a test necessarily, but it kind of was in my own like
Yeah, you
subconscious
were.
of like,
Can this
is
guy
this
match my
person?
weird?
Yeah. And then for a few times, and I acknowledge that if someone did this to me, I'd be filing a police report at my ripe age. In college, if someone did this to me, I'd be like, but I feel like it's different, because I get paranoid when anyway, I did it to you, and that wasn't fair. I probably should have just said hi. But I was so worried because I thought you were so cool that if I went and sat with you, listen, if I went and sat with you, you'd be like weirdo and leave. So I Snapchatted you from across the I
Well,
memorized your lunch schedule, Justin, and I
yeah.
followed you to lunch. Do you know how
So
weird that is?
again, I'm hidden in her basement, locked in her basement. She stalked me when we first met, and now she's locked me in the basement. Help!
Yeah, and it was like I told this to my therapist the other day because I was like, "Do you know the feeling? This is gonna sound weird. Bear with me, everyone. Okay. Do you know the feeling when you first meet someone that you're kind of like, oh my gosh, like butterflies in your stomach, but not like in a romantic way?
Yeah.
But like it's the same feeling. It's just it comes from different parts of your brain.
Hmm.
When we first hung out, that competitive back and forth, that's my favorite form of friendship,
Hmm.
and that's how I had always had friends. And so when it was like immediate, I was like, cool, a best friend, dope.
Yeah.
And then Amber, God love her. Like, by the way, Amber's having a baby,
Oh, that's
a little
exciting.
baby boy. That's very
Ooh.
precious. Muzzle tough, Amber. Um, but Amber had, she had her own thing in classes, and then we ended up separating from our room together, and I moved in with Nikki, and that was bad. And so like I had no one for a while, and all my friends were friends with Amber, so it was like I suddenly became alone.
Yeah.
So when I memorized your schedule and realized, oh my God, I have a friend that I can just follow around. That wasn't great for me at the time. I was also failing 2 classes, so I was really in the depths.
I
But
also
yeah.
think, and this is something like not against you, because I think a lot of freshmen in college kind of go through this of like,
Hmm.
it was not that you like it goes back to the like close proximity is how you build friends in
Hmm.
high school and middle school, but you didn't have that close proximity because we were
Right.
on two very different paths. I still
Right.
hadn't even taken a first education class yet. Like
Right.
I was still going through gen eds, so it was very much like we had to create that. We had to create that
Hmm.
bond, which was why it was so
When we suddenly ended
different.
up in practicum together, I was like,
Yeah, that was definitely fate. That was like one of those things that was like, look, you two are
that
gonna be
was God
friends.
saying, listen.
You two are going to be really good friends.
Yep.
But Justin, you have to sit through a couple classes with her to really understand why she acts this way.
Justin was there when I failed my first class in college. Like the semester afterwards where I was like, I'm dropping out. I can't do this. And then he was like, I feel like you're fine. I don't know you well, but you're fine. And we went to a Red Sox game together, and I don't even remember how it happened. You were in the back of the bus,
Because
and
when they,
Amber and I
so
were
I
at the
can tell you
front.
exactly how. I can tell you
Okay, because
exactly
I've
how.
been curious about this for years. Like, why
Mind you,
did this
this
happen?
was my sophomore year in college,
My
so
freshman year of college.
eight
This
years
was
ago.
2017. Don't say that. Ah.
But yeah, so they went to the back of the bus, and as they were walking by, I literally leaned over to the person, and I was sitting with somebody. I was
Hmm.
sitting. I don't even remember who I was sitting with, but I knew I didn't want to sit with
Wasn't
them.
it? Oh, okay.
That was
I
the
was like,
second
wasn't it
trip.
Joe? Oh no, that was the
That
second
was the
trip that
second
we
trip.
stayed in a cluster.
Yeah, but I
Hmm.
literally leaned over to the person who was handing out the tickets, and I said, "Can I have the ticket that's next to those two people?" Because I knew you two. I didn't know anybody else on that bus. And so I was like, "Can I have the ticket next to those two
So,
people?"
can I tell you
And
what I
so
thought was happening at that moment? Actually, let you finish, and then I'll tell you.
I was gonna say, so she was like, "Well, we'll see," because that was the person and how she acts. And she kind of
Hmm.
went through the tickets and then got to me, and I was like, "Can I please? Like, I don't know anybody else." And she's
Hmm.
like, "Fine." And I think she gave me all three tickets.
Yes, because she came to us and she pointed in the back and she goes, "He has your tickets," and I was like,
I was like,
"I
"Yeah."
thought it was I thought it was the person next to you," and I was like,
I don't even remember who it
"Meh."
was. That's
I
the
don't
problem.
remember, but I remember them trying to be near us
Yeah,
for a bit, and then we became friends. So I thought, in my infinite wisdom,
wisdom.
in my infinite wisdom, no joke, and I'm so glad we were able to become friends after this, but I had convinced myself that not only had I made a friend, but oh no, he now thinks that I'm interested in him and is flirting, because I was like, oh no, that's bad. How do I break it to him that, like, I have this really great boyfriend and oh, you're very nice, but because I had never had to do this before. And I
Yeah.
was like, Amber and I were talking, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And she was like, I think he just wants to have a friend. And I was like, I'm fairly convinced, Amber, that this is what's happening. And I had convinced myself. So I was super awkward on the trip. I'd also never been to a baseball game besides like my cousins in, when they
And
were like
I
9.
had always wanted to be at a baseball game, so
Yeah.
I talked the whole time. It was
Yes, you
like
did.
roles literally flipped. It was crazy.
Uh-huh. I was very awkward, and I was like, how do I, the whole trip, I had fun, but the whole time I was like, how do I break it to Justin that, like, I have Connor and I love Connor very much, and he's a nice guy, but not my type. And then at one point when we were hanging out, Amber brought up something about, like, she thought that you were dating someone, and I was like, oh, well, now I'm an asshole, because I was so awkward that whole trip. Yeah. It
I
was a
think
very
by
fun
the
trip, though.
Sox game, Darcy and I were at least talking, if
You
not
were
dating.
talking. You weren't dating yet, but you were talking, because
Well,
that was early.
we started dating in November.
So you were talking because the Sox game was in September.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the end
But
of
we were-
September.
Yeah, we had just started talking like fairly recent.
Justin is the reason that I got to sign the pole
Yeah.
at the stadium. It's gone now, but
Well, they paint over it every year, but
yeah.
yeah.
I wish they wouldn't. I think that'd be fun.
It'd be kind of messy. But I literally,
Yeah.
I don't remember who I yelled to. I was like, does anybody have a marker? Because I saw a bunch of people
it
sign.
was
Not anybody else at the like in our group signed. It was just a bunch of names, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sign that." Which
mhm.
I want to make this very clear. Anybody who knew me in high school, I wouldn't have done that. That move.
It was the power of his
was,
stalker being there.
No, that move was literally me being like, I have
to change my whole personality.
Well, I mean, partially, but I have free will to do what I want because I have no parents around. I have nobody watching me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm gonna sign that poll. And that was when that is like, when you watch Inside Out and the whole core memories, that's one of them.
That's a core memory.
That's like a personality island building memory.
Mm-hmm.
Because I literally, I was like, anybody got a marker? And I got a marker and I signed it, and then you signed it, and then Amber signed it, and then everybody else signed it. And I was like,
that was a core
started
memory.
This.
I started the fire.
But yeah,
that was a fun one.
It was a fun trip.
Anyways, my core memory from our early years of friendship was when you were living. So your junior year, you were living in the apartment with the frisbee house, and we were doing practicum together. And I came over one day after we had started practicum. We were in the schools, and I came over for something after school. I had picked you up because I had left my school and I had come to pick you up, and we were doing something, and I have a picture of you going like this, and you're in like your business casual, and you are just ranting so much. And I was like, I'm just listening, but I took a Snapchat of it. And then after that, we wrote a rap together, by the way, pre-release date on Spotify and SoundCloud.
You know how crazy that would go if we released our rap?
I think I still have it. Hold on. I'm going to find it later, but
so
I'm
I was
pretty
gonna
sure
say,
we still have it.
In the comments, if you are interested in hearing that rap, put it in the comments. Let us know. Because, like, I'm willing to do a little embarrassment here.
Are you willing to hear us recreate it now that we're actual teachers?
I think we need to do the original. I think we have to at least release the real.
Oh, yeah, on SoundCloud. Oh, man, what if that gets us big?
Dude, that would be crazy.
That would be insane.
Our terrible rap that we wrote.
No, it's amazing. No, it's amazing.
No, it's
Switch
bad.
Switch that around. You're a junior, my sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That would be.
I'm switching games now because the questions are not great.
So yeah, in the comments, let us know if you want to hear that rap.
I remember that sometimes, and I go, oh,
yeah,
heard about that.
You know what's really funny? In my I'm not a rapper. I'm not a poet. I am not somebody who does writing. And you have to do a lot of writing when you do that stuff. In my lifetime, I've written 2 raps.
What?
Not once. It would be okay if I did it once, an assignment, move on. I've written 2, and I feel like that's kind of weird. You know that sound on TikTok where it's like the nickel. If I had a nickel every time this, but
Yeah. I'd have 2 nickels, which
it's
is
not a
weird
lot.
that it's happened twice. Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it's weird, don't you think?
Yep. It's Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I feel like. I've written 2 raps.
That's so bizarre.
One
Now,
of them, I don't remember our base of our rap, but I
I'm
remember
gonna
the
go
base.
find it.
I remember the base of my first one. It was over Cinderella Man by Eminem, and it was
amazing.
It was about atoms. So it was, and I can hear it in my voice. I can hear it. It was, you know how it goes like Cinderella Man,
Yeah.
We had to rap this
Man.
in front of the class, by the way.
Amazing.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
This was in like sophomore year of like biology or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was we were doing the I think we were writing a rap about the person who found atoms.
Okay.
So it was, you're the Adams man. You're the Adams man.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
And I was like, this is a freaking beat, dude. I am amazing. Like,
amazing.
it was so funny. Oh man, I don't know if I could even find that. Like, I remember that part of it, but that was it. Oh man. I like, not only did, and I want to make this very clear, and I appreciate my classmates, but I don't, because I did all of the work. I wrote that rap. Like,
there you go. I love it.
I'm not the person to be writing a rap. Like,
okay. I'm looking for things that I've shared with you. Okay.
Gosh. It'd have to be Justin.Davis too.
Yeah. What would we have called it?
Well, it was during practicum.
Yeah, so what's that, 2018?
2017, 2018, somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay. Oofta.
I don't know.
Oofta. Well, and that's also, wow, that's, okay, this is a later project. But I'm going to find it, folks, and I'm going to, it would be that I sent it to Kate.
Yes, yeah, you did send it to Kate. Because it was through you. It was like, that was your stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was, I guess, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. That was not the plan that we had down for this podcast episode.
Not even a little bit.
Gotta love ADHD. But yeah, so in the comments, make sure you let us know if you want to actually hear the rap, because like, I guess I'm not against embarrassment, but like, and I love Nana very much, but I know that she's probably going to want to hear the rap, so I need other people to say it as well. So if you're interested, say it.
Okay.
Did you find
it was 20. Was it 20? We took it in fall of 2018, right?
Yes.
Or was it fall of? Yeah,
No,
it was fall of 2018 because we moved in together in 2019.
Yeah. But yeah. So, Jasmine, before you find it, where can they find you?
They can find me rapping on SoundCloud.
Becoming
but they
massive rappers.
Yeah. They can find me over at Esminsta on all socials. And or Esminsta1721 on a couple things. I really gotta just make it one, I think. One.
Yeah,
but it's
that would
anyway.
be helpful, but I also
you can also find the show over at No Impulse Control on all the things. Go grab some merch. I think it's time that the Chaos Collection does come down because it was limited time and we
extended it.
I died a little bit. Sorry. Oh, we got a dislike on our last video. Whoever disliked our trolley problem, your mom's a hoe.
Okay, well that was aggressive.
No, but like
just misclicked.
Then go fix it. You know?
Fair. But we gotta be nice. We gotta support. We gotta get
No.
Okay.
We're at 38 subscribers. Wait, were we already at 38 subscribers?
We were, yeah.
Oh.
Okay. You can find me at TSK1239 or the Soccer King 1239 on most things. You know, do your searching. You know, hunt me down if you really need to, but like, don't, because I'll fight you. And we'll see you in the next video, where who knows what's gonna happen.
Not us, apparently.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.